Welcome to the session, everybody. Welcome, Adam. Welcome, Denzel, Jason, Rebone, Trish. Welcome, Tsepang. We've got Lesedi, Lisa, Marilyn. There's somebody with the name Zoom user. Maybe if you can change your name, that would help. At least I'll know who you are. Welcome to Kazani. Yeah, quite a few of you joining from our previous lesson. That's really great. It's lovely to have you all here with us today. And it's really, really great that you're following on with the lessons from the previous time. Maslochonolo, welcome. Valerie, welcome to the session. And Zaza, welcome as well.
Okay, I think whilst we're waiting for everyone to join, just to welcome everyone to our grade 11 functions lesson. This is our second lesson. And yeah, just a reminder, please make sure that you have your pen and your paper, some writing materials, calculators, everything with you so that you can work out and work along with us. And please make sure you make use of our chat, use emojis, and type your answers in the chat. If you would actually like to unmute to answer questions, you also can. But yeah, we would really like your participation this evening. Just so you know, our lesson one was on drawing the hyperbola, and our lesson two is finding the equation of the hyperbola. So I'm just going to hand over to our teacher, Dipesh, and yeah, we can start soon.
Yeah, thanks for that, Nikela. I'm just going to share my screen. Is that okay? Can everybody see okay? Nikela, is that fine?
Yes.
Okay, everybody can see what's on here, right? So yeah, welcome again to the session. As Nikela has pointed out, it's functions, and we're focusing on the hyperbola, and in particular, finding the equation of the hyperbola. I'm Deepesh, and it would be really great if you can contribute, if you can share your thoughts of the lesson, share your thoughts of any challenging parts of the lesson, simply ask questions and contribute. Yeah, please don't feel shy. We're all here to learn and we're all here to contribute and help each other. So, yeah, I'd like us to start the lesson today with a equation where we're going to find A. And you're welcome to type in the chat and let me know what the answer for this particular equation is. This equation is going to help us with solving some of our questions today. And yeah, let's have a look. Find A. I see I've got some answers already in the chat. Let's have a look. Lisa, you're saying this is in your test today. That's good. It means that we on par with what you're doing at school, which is great. But yeah, it also means that you should have an answer for us as well because you've been doing it recently. So maybe you can share with us and let us know what the answer is or what you think the answer is. Okay. Okay, Tumelo, hi Tumelo. Tumelo, you can try this out and give us an answer so we can all check and compare. Okay, Adam, you've given us an answer. Adam's given us an answer of -10. I'm just waiting for 2 or 3 more answers, and then we can check. So Mahlohonolo says -10 as well. Who else? Who else has an answer? Denzel also -10. I see Zaza is working this out. Valerie also -10. Cool. Sure, lots of -10. So it has to be the right answer. Maybe let's work it out. So what I'm going to do is, let me minimize this, push this up, and we're going to solve this, right? So let's see. First thing what we're going to do is, we're going to take the 12 over, right? We're going to take the 12 over to that side. And we want to try and get the a on its own, right? So it's going to be 7 minus 12 equals a over 2. And 7 minus 12 is -5. Because we've got 7, we take away 12. So it's -5 equals a over 2. And then we find a on its own. So a equals -5 times 2. So a will equal -5 times 2 is indeed -10. So well done to those of you who got the answer, right? So that's great. Okay, -10. Any questions regarding this finding of A? I see Zaza. You have a question there? No, no question. Okay. Let's have a look. Anybody else has a question? Yeah, Tsepang, you've got 10 instead of -10. Remember, 7 minus 12 is it's -5, right? So I think maybe this is where the challenge lies for you. It's that 7 minus 12 is -5, right? So it's not 5. Maybe you've got 5 there, right? So I think maybe this part here may be the problem part. So 7 minus 12 is -5, and -5, then we take the 2 over, because it's divided on the left, it becomes times on the right, and -5 times 2 is -10. Okay. So yeah, like I said, I just placed this in the start just for us to get some practice with equations, because we're going to use that today. But yeah, are you all ready to look at the hyperbola again and find the equation of the hyperbola? Who's ready? Can maybe show me a thumbs up or type in the chat. Let's have a look. Who's ready? Sepang, Valerie, Trish. Yeah. Oh, Lesedi, Lisa, Kiabetsue, Denzel. Okay, you're all ready. Okay, great. Thanks for that. Okay, cool. Zaza is also ready. Okay, thank you so much for that. Okay, so since we did hyperbola on Tuesday, Tokozani, I see you've got your hand up. Is that a question? No? Not a question? Okay, so since we did hyperbolas on Tuesday, you should know the equation of the hyperbola. So I'm just going to write it down here just so to give us some perspective with that equation again. And maybe you can tell me again, because we did go through it on Tuesday, what the parts of the equation means, right? So we had the equation of the hyperbola being y equals a over its x plus p plus q. Sometime you'll see in your textbook that this plus p is also written as x minus p. It's fine. because we do know what we need to do with the P and the Q. But yeah, what do the P and the Q represent once again? What do the P and the Q represent? You can just let me know. What do the P and the Q represent? Let's have a look. Asymptotes. Excellent, Matlohanolo. Valerie, asymptotes. Cool. Okay. So they represent asymptotes. A as Y, M, P, T, O, T, E, S. Asymptotes. Okay. So they represent asymptotes. These are the lines at which the graph of the function do not touch. Okay, so the graph cannot go through those points or those lines, right? Yes, so the y asymptote and the x asymptote, Denzel. So the p represents your x asymptote and the q represents the y asymptote. Yeah, so that's, and this is the x. And what did we remember about the p? Do we change the sign of the p when we have the asymptote? Yes or no? Do we change the sign of the p when we're finding the asymptotes? Yes or no? Yes, excellent. Thank you all. That's great. You're all saying yes, we do. So this P, very important signs, eh? So P, change sign. So we change the sign when we are finding the asymptotes, right? So that was something that we discussed at length on Tuesday. Yeah, okay, thanks, Gabetsui. Thank you. Right, so I guess we're all ready to then go to the graph since you know the equation. So let's have a look here. I've got a hyperbola. And yeah, don't be afraid because it looks a bit complicated because why? There is a hyperbola and there's also a straight line. But I thought it would be nice to maybe just introduce both together and be focusing on the hyperbola, right? Okay, we're focusing on the hyperbola. So we've got here, given the graphs hx equals k over x minus p plus q and px equals mx plus c. And we've got the point A and B are the points of intersection of the two graphs. And we've got C, which is -1 and 2, is a point on the graph hx. Okay, so I want to know from you, what do we call these two graphs on here, on your screen? What do we call these two graphs? What do we call these two graphs? What are they called? You can type in the chat. Let me know. What do we call them? We've got two graphs here. Hey? What are they called, Valerie? Who else can I ask? We've got some answers here. We've got linear and hyperbola. Zaza, thank you. Or straight line. Thanks, Lisa. Hyperbola, yes. And straight line or linear, right? So we got two graphs, linear and hyperbola, or linear can also be called straight line. Okay. So our focus is, however, on the hyperbola, right? Which is hx. So we've got the asymptotes of the hyperbola here being x equals 1 and y equals 3, right? Okay, I hope that you can all see this okay, but it's x equals 1 and y equals 3. Let's try and zoom in a little bit more. I think that's fine. You'll be able to see it here. So x equals 1 and y equals 3, and we've got the hyperbola, which is hx equals k over x minus p plus q. So what we need to do here, the question wants us to determine the equation of hx, right? So the equation of hx, right? So we need to find the equation of the hyperbola. Okay. I want to know from you, you remember the last time we were talking about the A? the A in the hyperbola equation, is the A, so is this graph in the positive quadrants or the negative quadrants? Let me know. Let me check. I'm just curious from you. Is the graph in the positive quadrant or is it in the negative quadrant? Where is it? Let me know. Is it in the positive quadrant or negative? Trish says positive. Zaza says positive. Zepang says positive. Lisa says positive. Kia Betswe says positive. Okay. Everybody's saying positive quadrant. Mercedes says positive quadrant. So it has to be in the positive quadrant because you all said that, right? Okay, great. So it is in the positive quadrant. Great. I'm really, really happy that you all have been revising and it's really good. So yes, it is in the positive quadrant and I'm going to write it's positive because it's here and here. Right? So let's write the equation that we are given. We are given that y equals k over, oh, my hand is not very steady there. Let's say k over x minus p plus q. And that is the equation we're given. What is P and what is Q? What can you tell me? What is the value of P and what is the value of Q? Let's start with P. What does P equal to? Okay, Matlochonola says 1. Lisa, you're saying, okay, you're saying P is minus 1. Okay. Okay. I think Lisa and Lesedi are telling me about how it's represented on the equation. So we've got this part here, it's 1. So this is x equals 1, right? And then this one is y equal to 3, right? So if I write it, is it right in me saying that it's y equals k over x minus 1 plus 3, where the one is the x asymptote and the other one is the y asymptote. So this one being the x and this one being the y. Is it right so far? You can just tell me yes or no, the way I've written this. Is it right, yes or no? Okay, Tsepang is saying yes. Lisa is saying yes. Okay, Kebetsu, thank you. Okay, yes, so this is correct so far. We've got x minus 1. Why? Because when we take the denominator and we change the sign, it becomes 1. So therefore, it has to be written as x minus 1. It's so important for you to understand that part, right? Any questions related to this so far? You're welcome to unmute yourself or just type in the chat. I don't see any raised hands here. No. Okay. Okay. So this is in fact step 1 in finding the equation. Step 1 is plugging in the asymptotes. So here, this is step 1. Plug in asymptotes, right? Plug in the asymptotes. Plug in the asymptotes, and that is step 1. Plug in asymptotes. Step 2, we plug in another coordinate and we solve for the k that we have here, right? So step 2, which other coordinate can we plug in? I see we have a graph here. We've got A, we've got B, we've got C. Which one do you think we can plug in to this equation to find k? Let's see what you're saying. Yes, so Maslachanola, we changed the sign of the asymptote. Yeah, so it will be x minus 1. That's all we do, right? not the equation, it's just the asymptote, right? So if it's x equals 1, it will be x equals minus 1, right? Lisa and Kiabetsui telling me to use the point C. I wonder if others agree. Who else agrees that we must use point C? And what is point C actually? Point C is minus 1 and 2. So the x is minus 1 and the y is 2. Lesedi also says C. Where's the others? Adam, Zaza, some of you are very quiet. Boy Tumelo, Denzel, Jason, some of you are very quiet. Tumelo, Trish, yeah, maybe you can share which point will we plug in. C, are you sure it's not A or B? Okay, you're all sure it's C. Okay, so yes, we're going to plug in C because that's the point that we have. That's the only point actually that we have so far, which is the point C. So we're going to plug in the place of x minus 1 and in the place of y 2. So let's do that. So I'm going to say y, which is 2. So I'm going to plug that in 2 here equals k over, in the place of x, I'm going to be plugging in 1, minus 1, sorry, minus 1, minus 1 plus 3. So in the first step, I plugged in minus 1 and 3. And in this step, I'm now plugging in 2 and minus 1. So we keep plugging in more and more information. So this is step 2. Plug in a coordinate. So plug in a coordinate. Okay, so step 2, plug in a coordinate. And we're going to solve for k. Now it's your turn. So find k and plug it in the chat and let me know what you get for k. Very similar to what we did in the start of the lesson. Find k and let me know what that is. I've got one answer here for Matlochanolo. Anybody else? The value of k? Who was that who wrote the test today? It was Lisa. Lisa, you should know this. Oh, Lisa, you've given an answer there too. Okay. Anybody else have an answer here? Denzel, maybe you? Trish also got 2. Jason has 2. Kiabetswe also 2. Okay, I see a lot of you have 2. So it has to be 2 then, but let's calculate it, right? So what I'm going to do, let's draw this in purple. So it's going to be 2 equals k minus 1 times minus 1 minus 1 is minus 2 plus 3. You take the 3 over, right? So it's minus 1 times minus 2 equals k. Therefore, k equals to 2. Yay, well done, everybody. That's great. So k equals 2. That's really great. Well done. Okay, so k is 2. Tokozani Sasetu, yeah. Great to have you here, Sasetu, from Tuesday. Now it's Thursday. It's really great that people are attending and that you're attending all the classes. That's really cool. So k equals 2. Now I can go and plug it into the original. And I have my equation. So I've got now the equation. Y equals 2 over x minus 1 plus 3. So what does this equation have? What do we leave behind? Because there are some things here that we've left behind. So we put back the k, we put back the p, and we put back the q. So we put back three things. The k or the a can be anything with the numerator part. And then we put the p, which is the x asymptote, and then we put the q, which is the y asymptote. Okay. So that's what we put back into the final equation. Now you see c is no longer there. That's c that we used to find k. We don't put that because we need to leave an x and a y here. Okay. Yeah. Maybe just type in the chat and let me know how this has gone for you. Finding the equation of the hyperbola. How is this so far? You can just describe it in one word. Okay. Okay. Awesome from Lisa. Great from Zaza. Good from Tsepang. Rabone has showed a hand gesture. That's great. I think that means really good from Rabone. And then Valerie, good, good. Trish, all right. Steady, also good. Denzel, great. Sasetu, good. Okay. Seems like it's good from what I see. No confused or worried. So it means that the next one, I shouldn't be stressing. I think you're going to do all the work, okay? So yeah, 2 over x minus 1 plus 3. But how do we know if this is right? We can test it if we want. We could test it if we want. What you can do is you can plug C in, which was minus 1 and minus 1, and you should be able to, when you plug X in, you should be able to get the Y. So you could do that. I'm not going to do that right now, but that is something that you could do. If you want to test, you can plug in a coordinate and X, plug it in, and you should get the Y, right? But it's not necessary. But sometimes you finish your tests early and maybe you're just sitting around and sometimes you're not allowed to leave the venue until everybody's done. Then you can check your answers by plugging in coordinates and seeing that the X, when you plug in an X, you get the Y, or when you plug in a Y, you get the X, right? So yeah, this is it for this one. Any questions related to this particular hyperbola? Okay, I see no questions. So you're all ready to try another one? Try your own one. Let's see. Any thumbs up here? Anybody? Yeah. Okay. All ready to try. Okay. Matlochanola, I see you've got your hand raised. Is that a question? Okay. Tumelo, we're going to be trying another one. I think a lot of you are going to be doing the hard work in the next one, and then we'll go through it. Not to stress. Sorry, who's that? Yeah.
Do we need to use the straight line to find the hyperbola equation?
No,
Yeah.
we haven't used it at all, right? Yeah. Okay. So we
So
haven't used.
so so
Um,
if I
yeah.
so I can get a question like this, but without the straight line, only the hyperbola.
Yes, I just put it in there, Maslokanolo, because sometimes they are follow-on questions. So I just took A, but they could be B, C, D, and things like that, right? So we're going to build it up week on week and return back to some of the questions. Say, let's now try B, because we've done A. We're going to follow on and see how we can relate to the different graphs, right? But very often you get the graphs with other graphs. So it's important to just recognize the type of graph you're focusing on from the get-go, hey? Okay, is that fine, Matlokonolo?
Yes, sir.
Great. Let me have a look. Jason, what's Jason saying? Okay. Okay, I think let's try another one, but now it's your turn, right? So you're going to do the hard work and find the equation of the hyperbola. Ooh, where is the hyperbola gone to? Let's have a look. There we go. I hope you can all see this okay. Actually going to zoom in quite a lot just so you get the whole equation, whole graph. Okay. Okay, so, right, there's a graph here that we've done before. What is that graph called? We've got two graphs here. What are the two graphs called? You can just type in the chat and let me know, what are the two graphs called that we have here? Parabola, hyperbola, correct. Zaza, Mahlokonolo, good. Everybody else agrees? Yeah, Kebetswe, okay, great. Cool. Hyperbola, parabola, two graphs. Thanks, Lisa. Okay, right. But what are we going to focus on? Are we focusing on, in this question, fx or gx? Which one? You can just type in the chat. Are we focusing on fx or gx? Gx, cool. A over x plus p plus q, and now you know that p represents the asymptote and q represents the asymptote, and A is positive or negative quadrant. Again, is the A going to be positive or is the A going to be negative? What is it going to be? Yes, thank you. Great. That's really great to see the responses. Well done. Well done. It is positive, right? Great. Thank you all. Okay, I'm going to get out of the chat there. So we've got the equation gx is a over x plus b plus q. What is the value of p and what is q? You can just type p equals q equals. What is the value of p? What is the value of q? So we've got hyperbola here. They say two graphs intersect at A. We've got the turning point of the parabola lies at the point of intersection of the asymptotes. Line x equals to 1 is the axis of symmetry of the parabola. And yeah, what is P and what is Q? Okay, Lisa, you've given us P. Okay, that's -1 there. And Q, what's happening? Everybody else? What's happening with your P and the Q, the X and Y asymptote? Q is equal to 2, Q is equal to 2, P is 1. Okay, great. Okay, thank you. So, okay, I'm going to get out of the chat there. Let's see. So we've got here Y equals A over X plus P plus Q. And this is your X asymptote and this is your Y asymptote. Okay. Step 1 is finding the value, plugging in the P and the Q. So let's do that. So step 1, plug in P and Q. Step 1, plug. Is that somebody with a question? No. Plug in P and Q for me and let's compare that equation. Leave A, leave X, leave Y. Just plug in P and Q and we're going to compare our answers, right? Plug in P and Q. P and Q. Plug in P and Q. Okay, so I know it's difficult to type this in the chat, but anybody wants to unmute themselves to tell me what you have? Anybody wants to unmute themselves? Nope. Okay, let me give you this equation and then you tell me whether you've got the same thing. So I've got y equals a over x minus 1 plus 2. Is this correct? Yes or no? Yes. Okay, great. And the sign, hey, it's x minus 1 plus 2. The sign, okay? Correct. Well done, everybody. A over x minus 1 plus 2, and that is the equation. Y is equal to a over x minus 1 plus 2. Okay, what's the next thing we're going to do? We're going to plug in a coordinate. What coordinate am I plugging in? Anybody want to try? What coordinate would it be? Would it be A or T or something else? And what would that coordinate be? What coordinate will we plug in? Yes, we're plugging in A. So let's plug in A. Step 2. Plug a coordinate. Then here we've got A, right? Which is 2 and 4. So we're going to plug x is 2 and y is 4. So I'm going to plug it into the equation. I'm going to say 4 equals a over 2 minus 1 plus 2. And then it's going to be 4 minus 2 equals a over 1. So a equals 2. Does everybody have that? A equals 2. Yeah. A equals 2. Now we can plug it back into our original equation and we're good to go. So okay, I'm going to shift this across here. So remember what we need, we're going to just be using our P and the Q and the A. So it's y equals 2 over x minus 1 plus 2. 2 over x minus 1 plus 2. And let's circle things here. We've got our P, our Q, and our A. So we've got our A, we've got our P, and we've got our Q. Yeah. Okay. How's this one? Tumelo, okay, you say that makes sense. Okay, cool. One word to describe this question. How are you feeling now after doing 2 of these? How are you feeling after the second one? Adam, okay. That's good. Yes, Trish, I like that. Much better and confident. Okay. Sure. Rabone. Yeah, that's great. Zaza confident. Okay. Lesedi, good. Great. Susetu. Sure, that's great. Okay. Okay. So I still did a lot of the hard work here, although you helped me. But I'm going to give you one now to try completely by yourself. And you're going to tell me everything in the equation and the final answer as well. So it's your turn. Last one. There we go. And since we've done 2, I think you'll be good to go for this one and you can do it quite quickly. Let's try this one. Oh, okay. Okay, so I'm going to give you the equation. The equation is y equals a over and you need to find the equation of this hyperbola. We've got two asymptotes and we actually have a point. So you need to look carefully at this one. What is the point, right? The point is in fact here. It is 0, which is x, and 4, which is y. That's the point. So let's find the full equation, right? Plug in P, Q, and find A. If you can just let me know what A is, I'll be very happy. So just tell me what A is like when you're done, right? With the whole thing, because then I know that you're on the right path, right? Just type in the chat A equals, or unmute yourself and say A equals, then I know you're good to go. Who's going to give me the first answer? Zaza, just check that out. Just check it out. Make sure you're plugging in the right things. Oh, that's good. Okay, I'm getting some nice answers here. Okay, so I see I've got Adam telling me 6, Denzel 6, Lesedi 2, Kebetswe 2. Make sure you're plugging in the values correctly, right? So it's A over X, and then remember the bottom, it's X minus 1, right? So at the bottom, it's X minus 1 because when you, it's X plus 1, sorry, X plus 1, because when you take it out, it's going to change the sign, right? Okay. Okay, I'm getting more 6 as well. Some of you are saying 2, 6 from Valerie. So it's between 2 and 6, 2 and 6, 2 and 6. Eh? Who else? 6 again from Lucette. It seems like 6 is more common. Okay, I'm going to try this out. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, you can keep typing in your answers in there so I can see what's happening. Just keep typing in your answers. So we've got y equals a over x plus 1 minus 2. And why is it plus 1? Remember, we have to flip the sign when we find the asymptote on the graph. So if the graph is minus 1, we have to write plus 1. Very, 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 very important, right? That may be where some of you made a mistake. Then you plug in a coordinate, which is 0 and 4. So I'm going to say you plug. So it's going to be 4 equals a over 0 plus 1 minus 2. So 4 plus 2 equals a over 1. So a equals 6. Well done to those of you that had 6. Okay, so say to 6 as well. Excellent. Those of you that didn't get 6, are you okay with this now? Did you find your mistake? Yeah, please type in the chat if you're not wanting to unmute yourself. Just right there. I found my mistake, or I get it now. Okay, you see your mistake. Okay, cool. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, so those of you that didn't get it, let me know if you found your mistake. Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm seeing that you are saying you did. Okay, thank you for that. Now we're going to plug it in and give us our final equation, which is y equals 6 over x plus 1 minus 2. Yeah. And this is our A. That is our P. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for your hard work, right? So that's great. Well done. Yeah. And that is actually the end of the lesson. So I'm going to hand you over to the mentor, Nikela, who is going to let you know about the homework. So I hope this went well. You can type in the chat if you want and let me know after the third one how you're feeling. And yeah, Nikela, it is all yours. There we go.
Cool. Yeah, I just want to say well done, Lisa. I feel like a genius. That's so good. We're so happy to see that. I think you guys worked very, very hard for this lesson, and everyone deserves a thumbs up and a clap. So well done, everyone. Okay, I'm just going to share my screen to show you the homework that you guys are going to have. Okay, good. Well done, everyone. Okay, so this was a very productive lesson. And just so that you can consolidate everything, everything can make some sense. This is the app lesson. So you're going to go and you're going to pick a topic. You're going to look for functions and relationships. Once you click that, you'll see look for hyperbola. And then there's the introduction there, which will obviously just set the tone. If you haven't done that one from yesterday, I would suggest do that one. And then the one for today's lesson is finding the equation of a hyperbola. So that is your homework for today. Yeah, make sure you have it down so that you can see it. And yeah, well done, guys. I think you did a really good job today. And we will see you in next week's one.
Great, everybody. Thank you so much. Take care and see you soon. Study well.